Well, hello and welcome to Three Questions With. I'm Derek Collins, the Community Engagement Director for Concerned Veterans for America here in Northeast Florida. And today I'm very happy to have with us the Jimmie Smith, who's our Coalitions Director for Concerned Veterans for America for the entire state of Florida. I get just a small corner of it. He gets all of it. And Jimmie, I appreciate you coming on today and tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and what you do with CVA and your role.
Well, thank you very much, Derek, for this opportunity. So a little bit about myself. I'm a retired U.S. Army paratrooper, a former state legislator, and somebody who is very passionate about the concerns of veterans and their families, as well as the core values of ensuring that we continue to work to protect and defend the rights that we all fought for as veterans and our families sacrificed for as well.
So you've gone from paratrooper into the real world, so as far as a coalitions director, what does that entail, and what are you looking to do?
Well, so the coalitions director is basically, think of it like this. You as a grassroots engagement director are there to connect strongly with the grassroots and get the message out and build more of the passion locally. My job is to work with you and others throughout the entire state, as well as find other areas that we can connect with. So as an example, everything from the obviously state elected leaders and hopefully congressmen within the state, but also down to various veteran service organizations, down to organizations we may not have thought about partnering with on the issues that are important to our priorities within the CVA brand.
Yeah, so you also part of I think, the way I understand, you get to actually help us keep tabs of what's going on there in Tallahassee, and then also some DC stuff as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And also part of what I think is going to be one of the funnest parts of this job is to work with you and the others to basically create the new CVA going forward with different kinds of outreach, and how can we really reach more people in a better way to educate them on our policy and what it is that CVA actually does.
And I tell you what, it's great, the knowledge you guys get, and and what you do is so important. The previous coalitions director, he would come around, we would bring him in to share some of those things. So then talk about it, that you, Charles, what's going on. And it was actually, that was back when I was a volunteer and didn't know, for another organization, didn't know anything about CVA. It was attending a meeting with the coalitions director who kind of shared the vision of CVA, and all that is, that's what prompted me to apply and actually come to work for CVA. So that's what you have, is a very important job, because you're that you're that face across the state for what we're trying to do, and I appreciate that. So as I said in the beginning, the name of this is Three Questions With, and so we're going to have some 3 questions with Jimmie Smith. I got 3 questions for you. I want to read them out to you and have a chance to answer them. So are you ready for that?
Yes, sir, as always.
All right. So question 1 is, so where do you see veterans in Florida having a voice on issues that are not traditionally seen as veteran issues?
Well, so for me, it's very simple. One of the biggest things as a veteran, whenever I came home, the biggest concern was building my future. And to build my future, I need to be able to have a good job. I need to be able to have that ability to pay for my life going forward, to be able to build my financial future and my financial security, as well as to be able to achieve the success that, is part of what the American dream is. So I think veterans should look to job and job creation as a way to find more areas that veterans can influence things. We love the fact that there's so many veteran-owned businesses, and we hope they all post themselves as veteran-owned businesses. But not only that, mental health. Mental health is important to veterans. It's part of some of the challenges and concerns that we do face. And we need to find more ways to engage in those mental health issues, connect the National Alliance for Mental Illness with some of our concerns as a way to reach out to different groups. And that's part of building the coalition, as I talked about earlier.
Yeah, and that's great. And I think a lot of what we do it's about removing those barriers from veterans, and I know as a veteran, and you probably feel this way too, is that we've never really asked for anybody to give us a leg up on our competition. We've just asked for an even playing field, and I think that as veterans, especially in Florida, if we can start moving our society more towards, removing those barriers so that all Floridians have an opportunity to compete evenly, veterans are just going to, outperform and excel. We're designed to do that. So I think that's great.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
so
Derek,
yeah,
I'd like to expand on that a little bit
yeah,
because your point is emphatic. So one of the things that happens is veterans join the military, they go away, and they disconnect from the very communities that they grew up in. So the people who are there have been developing relationships and partnerships and things like that for years. So a veteran will go and serve 2, 4, 6, or 20 years like myself, and then come back into a community where they still have friends, but they don't have that connection. And that is uniformly one of the biggest things that when we talk about jobs and veterans and how to get connected, there is no you pull into your community, you show up and welcome. Here's how you get a job, and welcome. Here's who you have to contact, and that's why I think it's important.
yeah, absolutely. So, we're an organization, made up of veterans, and there's a lot of other veterans organizations out there, and some of them have similar roles, and some of them, don't. So, in the overall scheme of veterans organization here in Florida, what role do you see CVA fulfilling that's not currently being filled by other veteran organizations?
Well, the role we fill is a unique role. We are primarily policy driven. So many other organizations, or veteran service organizations specifically, are out there trying to ensure that the services offered are actually provided. They connect veterans with those things. So disability claims and things like that, they help out with that. What we do is we look at the system. We look for things that are broken within the system. We reach out to our elected officials, both at the state and federal level, and we provide suggestions to changes in policies that in the long run will give the tools to the veteran service organizations by having a better system. The example is the extraordinary work that CVA did for what's called the Mission Act. And now with the Community Cares portion of the Mission Act, what you're finding is that veterans now have more choice than they've ever had. Not that it's anti-VA, but it's pro options and opportunities for veterans.
And I know that, in some of the contacts I've made with some national level veterans organizations, that they have a similar group within them in their national level that does the policy side of it. But it seems to be like on the membership side on the ground, they don't ever connect them together as such. Their part of their dues goes up there to pay them to go to DC and lobby for this stuff, but there's really no connection. And that's why one of the things we've been able to do is to be that connection point locally for groups that want to get involved in those wider areas.
Right, and that's exactly right. When you think about it, that's, so my job is to give you guys more tools to be able to do that and allow you guys to actually discuss the issue of policy locally and why policy matters. That then drives activism to have the individuals on the ground, who are the most important part of this entire thing, reach out to their elected officials and be able to articulate in the best way to their elected officials to drive the elected officials to support policy change, which end up benefiting the individuals.
Well, absolutely. So we're going to build these partnerships with folks, at least offer, to build the partnership. So, and when we post this out, a lot of these folks that are members of groups and a lot of group leaders will be watching this, and they're going to ask themselves this question. So why should CVA be the preferred partner for either me individually or for my group here in the state of Florida? When there's other options out there, why should CVA be that preferred partner?
Well, actually, we've built ourselves into being what's called subject matter experts on policy, as well as, the fact of our influence and our outreach to these elected officials has really been, because it's policy based, been able to give us that tool of actual policy discussions. And we're not in any way saying that you shouldn't also be a member of a veteran service organization and you shouldn't volunteer for them. But when you look at what we are doing, we are strongly the voice of policy change. And truthfully, that's why we elect people in the first place. And that's why we constantly complain about Congress or our elected officials. but we're the ones who can complain as a subject matter expert on this specific policy in ways that other organizations may not be as good as we are.
Yeah, and that's great because like we'll complain, but we turn complaint into action. And that's what's so amazing about what we do. And I'm looking forward to, as you do more. I know you just recently started with us, and in right in time for COVID to hit, and so when you wanted to be out meeting people, and I certainly wanted to have you here and our other folks around the state, kind of the same. But we're looking forward to that, and I'm excited to see what the CVA team across Florida is going to be able to do, and I'm glad that you're a part of this team.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll make this deal with you. You work hard on ensuring those roots are strong and deep, and I'll help expand the lawn. And through that, we'll have the grassroots movement that CVA will use to make positive changes, both in policy for ending endless wars, for policies and ensuring constitutionality of when we do get drawn into conflict, as well as ensuring that when we have a VA medical system, it is a system of choice and the best system for the veterans who fought to defend this country.
All right, that's a deal. You hold me to it, I'll hold you to it. All right, so I just want to thank everybody for watching today, and I think once again, Jimmie, thank you for coming on. If anybody has any questions or comments, please leave them below or message them over to us, and we'll get back to you as quick as we can. And this actually, we've done, this is the 6th video in the series for what I'm calling season 1. So you're the wrap up for the season, and we're going to take a little break from this and kind of work and prepare for the next season. So I appreciate everybody that's watched so far. Please, share the videos, comment on them, and we'll be back with more amazing content and some great conversations, both with national leadership and here locally soon. So thank you guys, and have a great day.